Has Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered live up to its original? Let's find out. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Canadian Guy here, back with a review of Assassin's Creed Rogue. Just want to send a special thanks to Ubisoft for giving me my first early review copy of any game for this channel. So, what are we waiting for? Let's get right into it. Just to let you know, this review is spoiler-free! I will cover basic story points, but no major plot spoilers will be shown or talked about. I will be covering 3 aspects of this game, and for all future games. Those aspects will be story, gameplay, and graphics. I will then rate each out of 10, then give my overall rating rounded. Then, I will cover whether or not you should buy the game, and who would like it. So, let's get into it. The story of Assassin's Creed Rogue takes place in the point of view of the man who wins the award for the most Irish name ever, Shay Patrick Cormac. A man who joins the Creed, but questions its ethics and code. He continues to ask these questions, but is constantly silenced by his superiors. When a mission goes awry, Shay finally decides to leave the Creed and go rogue. Get it? Because that's the title. Anyway, the story is actually really refreshing for the Assassin's Creed franchise. The Assassins have always been shown as these secret heroes who are constantly stopping the Templars from taking over the world, but in this game it shows some of the holes that the Creed may have. Arguing its base facts and how it works overall really asks the player if the Assassins were really that good. It also sheds light on the Templars and their plans in a positive light to show that, well, perspective is a really important story factor in these games. If you are a huge Assassin's Creed nerd, this game is chocked full of lore and filling in some of the holes from other games. Of course, the story is not perfect. There are some aspects that feel a little fast and a bit jumpy, but overall, I really enjoyed this game's storyline. It really made me question the Assassins and the Templars and their whole war and what's going on between them. Let's get to what this game is though. It's a remaster. So how does it look? Well, a lot of people actually only vaguely remember this game. Why? Well, Assassin's Creed Black Flag came out for the current gen consoles back in 2013, so PS4 and Xbox One. This game came out a year later in 2014 for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3? That's quite odd if you ask me, and this really showed in the sales. Assassin's Creed Rogue barely came to 2.5 million units sold in total, while Black Flag was almost 13 million units sold in total. But when I heard that they were bringing this game to the modern consoles, I literally applauded. This was an incredibly intelligent idea, because there were a lot of fans of the Assassin's Creed franchise that did not get a chance to play this game because they had simply moved on onto the next current gen console. In comparison to the original, the game really does pull through in looking most excellent. The game feels on par with Black Flag now, maybe even in some parts a bit better. The graphics feel smooth and I have not had any frame rate drops. If I have not noticed it. You can really see the difference, especially in the wide shots of the game. From synchronizing on top of towers to traveling on the Morrigan, everything about the game feels excellent. It does not quite come in par with Assassin's Creed Origins, but that's totally understandable. Now let's look at the gameplay. The first thing you need to know is that the game's heart and soul is still Black Flag, but what I did not expect is what else they had in store. The game has aspects of Assassin's Creed 3 with the environments and even music, but then it feels at times you're warped into Assassin's Creed Syndicate with the gang missions and walking through the towns in the 1700s. The game takes a lot of the original Assassin's Creed games and comes together in a harmony that actually really is awesome. Want to go sailing and destroy ships? You got all your Black Flag needs, but also have the gang fortresses like Syndicate, and then you have a lot of the environments that send you back to Assassin's Creed 3. The combat feels great, especially with some of the new tools that Shay has been given that no other character has ever gotten before. It's interesting to go from Origins back to this game because you can see where the original Assassin's Creed fighting formula came from before it was shaken up in Origins, and I have to say it still feels really smooth as I cleave through enemies with chain attacks and with tools at my disposal. There are many things to craft an upgrade that you have to purchase or unlock by collecting certain objects, or completing certain puzzles. So if you love exploring and collecting things, there's plenty of that in this game. Some things, however, do feel dated. Sometimes the climbing gets a touch glitchy, and sometimes shade doesn't quite respond in the way that you expected. But overall, the gameplay is still really smooth. So for my overall review, the story gets an 8. For a refreshing outside look at the assassins and their creed. It loses a few points for some areas, feeling rushed, but overall, really great to play. The graphics gets an 8 as well. The game doesn't quite look as good as Origins, but of course, the graphics are really nice still, in my opinion. I considered it giving a 7, but remember, this was a remaster for a game that came out for the Xbox 360 and PS3, and it was able to make the graphics a little better than Black Flag, so I decided to give it an 8. The gameplay gets an 8 as well. Black Flag was easily my favorite Assassin's Creed game. There was so much to do and so much to explore. This game still had the heart of that, but with a lot of creative differences that really shakes up the game and keeps it feeling fresh. The inclusion of many other mechanics of other Assassin's Creed games really shakes the gameplay up as well. Combat is probably close to its peak point from the original Assassin's Creed fighting formula, only possibly be slightly beaten by Syndicate, but that's up for debate. So, no hard math on here. This game gets an 8 out of 10. So when to buy this game? If you're even the slightest fan of Assassin's Creed, you should nab this game on opening day, especially if you like Black Flag, because Black Flag is still the heart and soul of this game, but with enough additions from other games and its own unique additions for it to feel, well, different. If this is your first Assassin's Creed game, however, you might want to pick up Black Flag or any other Assassin's Creed game before this. It expects you to know already a little bit of the game's previous lore, or else you may get a little lost. But overall, I really enjoyed my experience with this game as an Assassin's Creed fan, and if you liked any of the previous Assassin's Creed games, you'll very much likely like this one too. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and thanks once again to Ubisoft for letting me do a review for this game. Check it out in the description below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, by the way, and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and consider donating to my Patreon. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye!